Ladies and gentlemen, would you please rise for the playing of
the Sibling Rivalry Baseball Podcast
with your host, the 2023 IBWAA Podcast Host of the Year, Jana, and her big brother, Jeff. Welcome to the Sibling Rivalry Baseball Podcast. Happy you have checked in with us. Again, as always, we will be talking baseball like we like to, and just not that we need to say this, but you know, we don't make any money off of this. We have no we're not monetizing the podcast as a lot of people do try to do. We don't have any of that. You know, honestly, I guess we have made a little bit of money through our fanatics, but I would say, and that's because of the affiliation. So if we order through Fanatics, we do get something. But I think in 6 years we've made about $100.
Woo, $100.
I would say that the bulk of that is, I don't know how many things you've bought, but I've bought quite a few things through Fanatics. So I'm probably getting an extra discount off of my purchases. So
we do it for the love of the game.
For love of the game, that's right. And speaking about love of the game, let's start this off with some sad news coming out just a month before he was set to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. One of my favorite players of the 70s especially, Dave Parker, primarily known as a Pittsburgh Pirate. It's been his first 11 years there. Passed away this last week. What was it? I'm trying to remember. He had Parkinson's, I believe. But he had something that was really, he didn't. The last time I saw him at a Pirates event, actually, he was in a wheelchair. Didn't look great. But we used to play this game with baseball cards. And I think I've mentioned this before, where we would roll the dice and play a game. So it was always pick the players you wanted. And when we'd pick out our cards, Dave Parker was always one of the players I wanted on my team. So we're sad to see him go, especially with him just being a month away from the Hall of Fame induction. So condolences to the Parker family and to that. On the other side of things, it's something that we're waiting on the MLB's ruling, but we have heard from the Dominican reports that the guy that I couldn't remember his name a couple of episodes ago and called him, actually I think I called him Wilyer Abreu, who we should talk about in Around Baseball. Wander Franco was convicted of inappropriate actions with a minor. Different contacts and stuff. We don't need to get into details, but the girl that is directly connected here, her mother was sentenced to 10 years in prison.
Yeah.
For her role in it.
Yeah, her role, I guess there was some blackmailing going on, but Wander Franco got a suspended prison sentence, 2-year suspended prison sentence. So I felt wasn't really fit the crime, but
no. I wonder if his if it's because his money helped with that one. Number two, I also wonder if there's a hope by those same people that he'll be reinstated at some point. And since Major League Baseball will now only decide what to do.
I don't think he's going to be reinstated. I think that's probably not going to happen. He also is in jeopardy of being permanently barred from entering the U.S. because of current immigration laws and because he's a criminal now.
Right. Well, and that definitely puts a hold on his baseball career there too if that happens. And honestly, from my stand. I don't like to take sides about things here, but that seems reasonable.
Yeah, I mean,
That's what you hear. The biggest parts of all of that immigration stuff is all of these criminals. Mm-hmm. And if the goal is to get them out, I guess you start by the easiest way is like Mr. Miyagi told Danielson. Easiest way to avoid the punch, no be there.
right. Exactly.
Easiest way to avoid criminals coming in, don't let him come in the first place. Now that he's a criminal, he's a convicted felon or whatever, you would consider him under Dominican law.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he can appeal. I think he has like 5 days to appeal. But if the appeal doesn't go through, he's going to forfeit the remaining $154 million that he had left on his 11-year, $182 million contract that he had signed with the Rays in 2021.
So we'll see what happens there. I wonder if that'll make them dig a little deeper before they award these contracts to some of these, I mean, I don't foresee Jackson Chourio of the Brewers going down this road. You never know. But he's one that got a big contract early on like Wander did. So anyway, that's some news we wanted to get off the top so that we could move forward with baseball, as it were. If you want to find more out about us, we talked about the website, siblingrivalrybb.com. You can go to the Fanatics links and order yourself some gear. You're probably going to do it anyway, so why not just do it there? And we appreciate the 27 cents or whatever we get off of your $100 purchase. I don't even know if that's correct.
I don't know. But it's easy. Just go to the website, click, and
you're going to buy it anyway. Just do it that way. We've just made it easier.
Exactly.
All right. And then you can also hit us up on Twitter, Sibling Rivalry BB without the A.
And on Facebook and Instagram at Sibling Rivalry BB with the A.
All right. Let's get to the overview of last week. We'll take a look around baseball. We'll take a look at the wheels and get you an update on who your starters are for the All-Star game. All of that is ahead, but first, let's go to Disneyland. It's just a mile or two from Anaheim Stadium, and who cares what's going on at Anaheim Stadium? Let's go see Mickey. All right, hanging out in Anaheim, the Angels got some further bad news in that Ron Washington is going to be out for the entire season. We talked about that last week.
We did. We mentioned it that they weren't sure.
Well,
it was just he had some medical issues or health issues. We're not sure what, and that he would be out, I guess, kind of indefinitely. And now we know it will be out. He'll be out for the season.
Out for the season, and we'll see. Jeff Fletcher of the OC Register was asked a question through a mailbag feature that he does occasionally, and somebody said, or a Twitter feature, and somebody said, will Ray Montgomery end up taking over and Wash is done? And he said, I guess we'll see at the end of the season depending on how things go, which I feel like, whether he meant to or not, he's backed up what I've been saying. They're just trying to get rid of Wash because Perry wants Ray Montgomery to be the guy. Because I think Ray Montgomery is going to do more of what Perry wants done than Wash has been doing, and what we know that Madden wasn't playing that game. So anyway. So first games for Montgomery, talked about last week. They lost the series to the Asterix, and then they welcomed the Red Sox to town. Red Sox, found their way south from San Francisco to take on the Angelitos, and well, I was kind of surprised at how this series went. What about you?
Yes, because there were brooms in Anaheim because the Angels sweep the Red Sox. Not usually. I mean, they played them well when they played them in Boston, but this time in Anaheim, they were like, you got a taste of us in Boston, and now this is what we can do.
So the Angels win the season series 7-1. I mean 6-1. I mean out of the 7 games. So they pretty much had their way with the Red Sox, including this sweep. First game out saw some issues with base running for the Red Sox, which led to the second night in a row day in a row of Joey Cora. I'm sorry, Alex Cora, not his brother Joey. I watched a lot of old baseball.
Yeah.
I don't even remember watching Alex play. I remember Joey playing. Anyway, Alex being tossed out of the game after arguing a call after it was not overturned. He felt that Luis Rengifo was blocking the base and blocking the runner from getting in. He was tagged out. And after review, they realized that and a conference, they realized that the runner was so far away from there that the ball got there that the player would have been able to move into that spot anyway. So it wasn't as if he was blocking him from getting it and then tagged him. So that was one thing, and it just didn't look good for him. Of course, it doesn't help with Game 1. Zach Neto goes 3 for 4 with a home run. Overall, they didn't do much. 9 runs on only 6 hits for the Angels. They were taking on Walker Buehler, who was only able to make it through 4 innings and gave up 5 runs on 3 hits. Walked 7 of them.
Yeah, that was huge. 7 walks. I don't think I've ever seen Walker Buehler ever give up 7 walks.
He started off the season well, and then things have just been falling apart for him lately. And the same could kind of be said for Jack Kahanowitz. He was doing well, and now he seems to have issues each time out. Gives up 4 runs on 6 hits. Was able to make it 5 innings, but got an ERA of 5.49 now. Now, the one thing that's really cool for the Angels, the only team in baseball who has had consistent starters. The same 5 starters have been going and making their starts every start. Nobody's missed a start of the 5 starters. And I think that there is, I think that Mike Trout, I don't think is going to be voted as a starter. And honestly, I don't think if he's not voted as a starter that he makes the All-Star team. And I don't think that it would be fair if he did, if he's the sole Angel to make it. And even if he does, there's probably Reed Detmers, I think, has earned his spot now as a potential to pitch. But Zach Neto, definitely. And maybe even Nolan Schanuel.
Yeah, I could see Nolan Schanuel in there as a representative. Yeah, Kahanowitz, as you mentioned, he gave up 6 hits and 4 runs, and then Zephyr John came in and gave up a hit and a run. But Brock Burke, Reed Detmers, Sam Bachman, Kenley Jansen, and what's his first name? Neris. I can't think of what his first name is, but because I just wrote
Hector
down his
Neris.
last name. Hector, thank you. I was like, Jose? No. Hector, between all of them, after Zephyr John, again, no hits, no runs.
Right.
Which is another big thing. And the Angels scored 4 in the 8th, and they just they just looked really good in this game. And of course, Walker Buehler helped him out with 7 walks.
Of course. Yep. Second game, we saw what probably should have been at least the one win for Boston. Garrett Crochet, who I would say is probably on the list of pitchers that'll be an all-star this year, strikes out 10, 3 hits over 7 innings. It took the Angels, they just rode out the storm until they could get to the bullpen, and Greg Weissert comes in, gives up a home run to Christian Moore. I don't know why I called him Charlie. Christian Moore. Charlie Moore just sounded easier.
Yeah.
Christian Moore, player of that game in Game 2, going 2 for 4, 3 RBIs, 2 home runs in the game to help start looking like the guy that they'd hoped he was going to be when they called him up. They wanted to call him up last year, but he got injured. So he helps win this game 3-2. They did it in innings. With the Halos had tied up the game, because when you look at it, Tyler Anderson, while he didn't go very deep into the game, just 4 2/3 innings, so he doesn't even qualify for a win in that. Did strike out 5, but it was the bullpen that they came in and stopped. So while the Red Sox scored a run earlier in the game, and it took the Angels till the 8th, it was kind of opposite. Crochet stopped the Angels. The Angels bullpen stopped the Red Sox. Angels scored 2 runs in the 10th to walk it off and move forward to the final game. So now they've won the series. They've taken, like I said, they end up taking the full series off of from the Red Sox, the season series, but going for the sweep and move to the final game, Wednesday afternoon game, where the Halos would not even worry about them today. In the middle of the game, 4th, 5th, and 6th innings, they got Yusei Kikuchi, his 3rd win of the season, and they win 5-2 to put a sweep, to pull out the brooms, to wrap up the season. And it was home runs by Joe Adell and Travis d'Arnaud that helped Yusei Kikuchi, who went 7, struck out 12. Well, just giving up those 2 runs on 3 hits.
That's like his career high that he had.
It was. And, he's been, I would even say that his record aside, he's just not got support.
Yeah, he's kind of like Yamamoto over his counterpart.
Is it a Japanese thing?
I don't know.
So, he gets, out of everything. I'd have to look and see how many starts he has and everything. He started 17 games. He's only gotten 9 decisions. That right there should tell you that he's not figuring in a lot of those decisions. He's pitching well. He's got a ERA under 3. So it turns out that it was I think a lot of people weren't necessarily happy with that signing. But I recall when his name came up at the end of the season as a free agent, that one of my thoughts was he'd be a good Angel, and so far, he actually has been. Yeah,
I think it's been a good pickup for the Angels.
All right, which is a rare thing to say. All right, the Nationals, they were on their Southern California tour. They played L.A., the Dodgers. They played the Padres. And then they come up to finish off their trip here to Southern California. I don't know if they went to Disneyland, but they did come to the Anaheim Stadium. And the first night out was, well, you know what? Here's an interesting thing. The draft is coming up. And who are the top two teams in the draft? Who's number one and who's number two?
It's probably the Pirates and the Nationals, right? Is it in that order or is it swapped?
No. The
It's
number
not.
one draft, the number one team, or the team with the number one draft pick is the Nationals,
Oh, right.
and number two is the Angels.
Oh, the Angels. Yeah. Why would the Pirates? They I don't know why I thought
They had
of
it
them.
before, but it was part
Right.
of the, remember they're doing the lottery now, and the Angels
Right.
got number two. So the Nationals and Angels, and the number one pick is another kid named Holiday coming out of high school. Yes, the brother of San Diego's Holiday, and who is in the top two of voting for second base. He's having a hard time though because Ketel Marte is the better known name. But anyway, he was there at the game with his dad, so he could see both of the top two teams that he could potentially end up with. I don't see him coming to the Angels because they have Christian Charlie Moore, but they're not really sure why would you bring him into something when you have a young, if it was like they're still trying to find a second baseman, Luis Rengifo's your guy there or something, or you're still using Kingery or Newman, which one of them got DFA, didn't they? I think
it was-
Newman.
I think Newman.
Yep, Newman got DFA'd. So the chances are you're probably not going to take him. They're more likely to get an arm because they always seem to need pitching. But everybody needs pitching. I think
Yes.
you got to look at it. If the Nationals don't take him, you got to consider that maybe he's worth getting, and maybe between him and Christian Moore, one of them could become a third baseman. I don't know. Anyway, he's there at one of the games. This first game was crazy. The Nationals were able to score first in the top of the second, and then the Angels would score 4 innings in a row. With the third inning, they dropped 4, and they were able to score nine runs in those 4 innings. Now, normally you score 9 runs, so you're going to end up winning the game. Yeah, that's not how it worked out.
Yeah. Well, as I say, in this game, the Nationals and Angels traded leads with each other like 5 times. There were 3 ties. There was 24 combined runs between the two teams. That was the most scored in the 20 years that they've been playing. And I think there's something about California, Southern California in particular, for C.J. Abrams and Nathaniel Lowe and those guys, because they seem to like to hit in the air. Must be in the air.
Must be. Both pitchers, Jake Irvin for the Nationals, Jose Soriano for the Angels, both have bad days. Both give up 9 hits. Irvin would pitch 1 more out than Soriano, and about 3 more batters worth. But they both go around 4. 8 runs given up by Soriano, 9 runs given up by Jake Irvin before he's out of there. Across the board, they're about the same, except Jake Irvin gave up 3 home runs to the Angels, to Joe Adell, Nolan Shanuel, and Taylor Ward, all taking him deep. So, like I said, when you look at what the Angels' score was, or you would think, okay, that's a win, but yeah, nah. Not when you give up a lot of runs, especially right at the beginning, and then only Brock Burke was able to avoid giving up any runs to the Nationals in that. So bad down day for the bullpen this time, bound to happen.
Well, yeah, and the same thing with Jose Soriano. He's been so good throughout this season, and he just one of those days where he just didn't have it. And this is interesting, though. I think the 15 runs that the Nationals scored is the most that the team has scored since July 19th, 2021.
Wow.
That
That's not like sometimes they go, yeah, that's the most since, and it'll be like April of 2024. Sorry,
Right.
that's not that, to me, that's not that big of a deal, but that's a while to not score that much,
yeah.
you know, because at some point, you're going to have a game like that where you're just going to go off. It happens.
Yeah.
But I
And
guess
this
not
was
for the
their game.
Nationals.
Yeah, but this was their game to do that. So we'll see how long the stretch.
That's right. The clock
Every
restarted
4
the clock.
years.
Yeah, we'll see, and we'll see if that's the case. So it really was different. Both the starters had a hard time, and then the Angels bullpen did not come through this time. But the Nationals bullpen did. It was Jake Irvin who gave up all the runs, and that was the end of it. They did, statistically speaking, good day. You had multiple hit games from Rengifo, Shanuel, Adele, Ohapi, and then it was good. Like I said, the 3 home runs. So you can't say it was a bad game offensively. Yusei Kikuchi could hope for this if only he was pitching. So we go to game 2, and you know what? You mentioned that since the last time you mentioned something about 2005, from back, and that was the year that the Nationals became the Nationals. They had moved from Montreal, and so that was the first year out there. The Nationals, honestly, I think we're starting to see the payoffs of the trade for Juan Soto.
Yeah. Yeah, because they had a lot of young guys, that were still.
C.J. Abrams, who could be an all-star, James Wood, who something that hadn't happened since 2004 happened with him in the last game of this series. We'll talk about that in a minute. They got, imagine, I think if you step back and think about what could be happening in San Diego right now, had they not gotten him and C.J. Abrams and James Wood, and that they probably wouldn't have had to go get Bogarts, because C.J. Abrams would have been their shortstop.
Yep.
James Wood, better outfielder than Juan Soto will ever be. And who was the pitcher? Mackenzie Gore? Was that who?
I think it was Gore.
Yep. So somebody else we see in this series. Game 2, Angels decide that, you know what? We may not look good on paper, and our bullpen may have had a bad night, but that's all it was, a bad night. And they come back. They don't do a bunch in the start of the game, but in the 7th inning, they would explode for 6 runs. They would you would see that with a home run by Mike Trout to lead off the inning, followed by a double and a single by Taylor Ward and Jordan Scott Adele. Christian Moore would single, and then Kevin Newman would hit a home run.
Yeah.
Kind of like a going away present before he got. And then Taylor Ward would walk to, and that would push Rengifo to the plate with that bases loaded walk, and really that would kind of put an end to any hopes that the Nationals had. They had scored 1 in the top of the 7th. The Angels would go on and score 1 more in the bottom of the 8th, and they would win this one 8-2. So now we head to the rubber match, the Sunday day game, the getaway game, as every Sunday is. Okay outing from Kyle Hendricks, who seems to be, if I go back and take a look at that, he, I he's been pretty solid overall. He only goes 5 innings, but just gives up run on the 5 hits. That one run was a home run that he gave up to C.J. Abrams. As usual, with the exception of a run given up by Ryan Zefferjon, the bullpen is able to hold them runless and gives up four extra hits to close them out. One of the aces so far for the Nationals, Michael Soroka, is able to go 6 in his start. All right, final game. And this game saw something that hadn't happened, two things. One thing hasn't happened since 2004 in all of baseball. And the other thing hadn't happened since 2005 in Anaheim. Any ideas on what that would be?
Well, I know that James Wood was intentionally walked 4 times in this game, and he's the 6th player in MLB history to be intentionally walked 4 times. The last time this happened was to a guy who just no, he did not just get paid. I guess he always gets paid. I was thinking of a different guy. But anyway, let me Barry Bonds.
Long coast and everything.
I know. I just
Although,
saw. I was thinking
there
of the bee.
there is a tie from in a way there is a tie between these two organizations. The guy who got paid,
Yeah.
and the guy who got the intentional walk, or the 4. Just tell us.
There's wait, the guy who got paid and the guy I'm so confused.
And the guy who we're talking about set this and did it more than once.
Oh,
for the intentional walks.
Well, Barry Bonds had it happen to him in 4 games. Is that what you're talking about?
That happened, yes. So
Yes,
what we're talking about is James Wood.
So confused.
James Wood, and then we'll unconfuse the other part. James Wood was intentionally walked 4 times in this game. He came up in situations each time that if he got a hit or hit as well as he has been, he would end up, he could potentially have, tied the game or pushed the Nationals ahead at that moment. So Montgomery walked him 4 times in this game. The last time it was done in 2004 was
Barry Bonds.
Right, who'd had that happen to him multiple times.
Right.
Where he was intentionally walked 4 times. Who were the other players that were intentionally walked? One was actually intentionally walked 5 times in one game.
So
who are they?
I've got Barry Bonds in 2004, 4 games. In 2001, Manny Ramirez. Andre Dawson in 1990. Gary Templeton in 1985. And Roger Maris in 1962.
Which is interesting because we have another Roger Maris stat that we can tell you about coming up in Around Baseball. Now, and I believe it was Andre Dawson who was actually walked 5 times intentionally in that game that he was walked 4 or more.
Yeah, so 4+ times in a game since they started tracking, which is 1955.
So that's crazy. Didn't Dave Martinez get ejected from this game?
I think he might have.
I remember, but now I don't remember. I mean, I remember seeing he got ejected, but I didn't remember if this was it or not. Anyway, Halos, come out and score first, and then they're blanked for a while. The Angels would send Kahanowitz to the mound. like clockwork. He would only go 4 innings. Kahanowitz, who started out really well, has been kind of falling off. Now, no home runs given up this game. Struck out 2, walked 2, would allow 2 runs on 5 hits. And then and overall, it was pretty quiet until Zephyrjan came in. Blows what was a potential save and opportunity, not at that point, but close, and gives up a run, and so everything's all tied up, and then we go to, and so we're all tied, and in the top of the ninth, the Nationals played a run to send it to overtime. So we've got Zennings. It was thanks to a Dalen Lyle double off of Kenley Jansen, and then Jansen gives up a single to Jacob Young, and that would tie it all up, sending it to Zennings, and it would be in the top of the 11th, where Dalen Lyle singles, Drew Mias doubles, scoring Lyle, C.J. Abrams triples, and both Lyle and Mia scores, giving them 3 runs, and then Kyle Finnegan would come in to or stay in. He had been in the 10th as well. Kyle Finnegan would strike out Logan O'Hoppe, and then force Darno and Moore to ground out, and that would be the end of it, causing something to happen that had never happened or hadn't happened since 2005. And you know what that is?
I don't know what that is.
This is the first time the Nationals have won a series in Anaheim since 2005.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So 20 years between. So the Nationals end up winning the series, and stopping their series streak in Anaheim at 20 years. So we'll see. We'll start the clock on that as well, right? Will it be
Yeah.
another 20 years before it happens again?
We'll see.
All right. Before we wrap up the Halo segment and get to player of the game and or week and where the Angels are traveling to, let's unravel what I twisted up. Bobby Bonilla
Yes.
gets paid on the 1st of July every year till I think he'll be dead 20 years, and they'll still be paying his family. So I don't know how long that's going to last, but he doesn't only get paid by them; he gets paid by a couple other teams too. Like what's his name? Max Scherzer gets paid by 4 teams right now.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. So when I was thinking of, I saw BB and I was thinking, oh, Bobby Bonilla, because he just got paid. But no, it's Barry Bonds, also a BB.
And then what I said was, these two organizations have a tie together. Mm-hmm. If you go back and look at history of baseball, all right. So Bobby Bonilla is who you were thinking of in BB.
Right.
The other BB, the all-time home run leader with an
Barry
asterisk,
Bonds.
Barry Bonds, plays for the Giants.
Right.
The orange in the Mets colors
know
of
where
blue
you're
and
going.
orange is in honor of the New York Giants,
Right.
who became the San Francisco Giants.
Right.
That's where the tie is.
Okay.
They're tied together that way.
Yes.
Plus, Willie Mays played for both of those.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So, just the Bobby Bonilla Day continues until 2035.
Okay, so 10 more years.
10 more years.
And then I think he's got like payoffs from a couple other teams that are less than the $1 million he gets every year from there.
It would be nice to have that kind of day when you get $1 million check written to you, but I can only dream.
Yeah, that would be great. I mean, what more could you ask for? All right, the Angels, after finishing things up with the Nationals, actually head to the East Coast. I think the Nationals went back home, and the Angels went south of Washington, D.C. to Atlanta. Well, they'll take on the Braves for 3. So we'll get to see a close-up of the biggest thing in baseball right now, Ronald Acuna Jr. And then,
I was going to say, they go south and then they go north.
They go way north. They cross the border and head to Toronto to play at Rogers Center and take on the Blue Jays. Any players of the week that you
I went with Christian Charlie Moore, and I just thought it was fun to see him get had some hits. He had those 2 big hits, but then had some hits throughout because he wasn't in the lineup every game. But that last home run, I think it was the last home run. I think he thought it was a triple. I don't think he thought it was a home run. And then when he realized it was a home run, he was like, "Oh my gosh, I just I hit a home run." So anyway, I just went with Christian Moore.
Yeah, I was going the same direction because he just had the most solid times. Did see some upticks from Taylor Ward, just in time to be on the list to maybe improve his chances of being traded. Not that that's what he's trying to do. I don't know, where he would end up going. If you could think about it, if you've never played in a playoff game and you might be able to go to a team that's going to be in the playoffs, it's worth a look. And you could actually probably get something good for him because he still has 1 more year after this. Trading off Joe Adell, who's still under team control, Zach Neto, who, by the way, found his way back into the lineup. He had injured his shoulder in a head-first slide, which is how he injured it in the first place and ended up having to have surgery on it. So he's been practicing feet-first slides. So we'll see what happens there. But, the question will be, how many of these guys could you actually trade? And what could you really get for them? Mm-hmm. So that's something we're going to have to watch. Once you get the All-Star game done, now that we're in July, we're under a month from trade deadline.
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, there's lots of rumors out there, lots of names. Tyler Anderson is one that keeps floating around. You mentioned Taylor Ward, so I don't know. We'll see. Will they stay? Do they go? And where do they go? And what do the Angels get?
It's time for Dodger baseball.
Well, we're at that part of the Dodgers season that everybody is saying, yeah, I knew it'd be okay. But we probably still have another losing streak to go through where the sky is falling and it's time to fire Dave Roberts. And, the only reason that Andrew Friedman is able to get anything done is because they have so much money with the Dodgers. So what better time to go visit Colorado?
Yeah, I mean,
although
go to Denver.
You wish the series had been the other way,
yes,
and they had gone to Kansas City and then came back to the West to Colorado.
Yeah, because I was in Denver. It would have been crazy Probably. I mean, I don't because we were in Denver because my oldest son and had tickets to see Metallica in their last stop on the North American tour. So anyway, we were there and they played
You're
it.
trying to do it like with in a monster truck voice.
Yeah,
You've been trying to go ahead, let her rip. Who did he go see?
Metallica.
This Friday in Denver. It's the final 2 dates of Metallica.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, at Empower Fields. I don't know how that would work because the trains were like crazy packed, and just for that concert. And a lot of times when we go up to Denver, we'll take the train, depending on where we're staying, we'll take the train up to Coors Field. So anyway, lots of metalheads in Denver
And
when I was there.
Metallica has a song that would be perfect for the Colorado Rockies.
Yeah,
Sad but true.
it's true. Well,
Anyway.
but in this, so you think, okay, the Dodgers have to go in to Colorado. There should be no reason why they won't sweep them. They do sweep them, but in this first game, it's a bullpen game, of course. What else could it be? The bulk of the runs were given up by Justin Warpolowski and Anthony Banda, who gave up 5 runs between the two of them. But the Dodgers had scored 4 in the 6th, and so at that point it was 2-6 because the Rockies scored once in the first, once in the third, so they're up 2-0. Max Muncy comes in, and was it Max Muncy? Well, no, it was Shohei, not Max Muncy. Sorry, Shohei hits a home run. He gets his, I don't know, like 27th home run there. So Max Muncy was 2 for 5 in this game. Michael Conforto, who everyone was like, why do we have Michael Conforto? He needs to be traded. They need to do something with him. Dodgers signed him for $17 million, 1-year deal. They're still trying to figure out what can they do with him. And he, I think, is the player of the game for this particular game. Hits a home run, goes 2 for 5, 3 RBIs, had a home run and a double in this game. But the Dodgers, they could have lost this game. I mean, it was 9-. They were up like 8-3, and then they end up winning the game 9-7 because the Rockies, they did score 3 in the 8th. But yeah, Shohei had a 2-run home run, and for Conforto, if going to Colorado is where he needed to maybe get right, okay, when's another trip to Colorado? So the first game, like I said, bullpen game. Freddie, though, 0 for 5, 2 strikeouts. Freddie's batting, I think he's down at batting fourth in the lineup now. And it's just really just to kind of get him. Well, in this game, he actually, he batted third, but he's flip-flopped with Will Smith. Anyway, so next game, we are in our monsoon season, and that also applies to Colorado, and they had a rain delay in Denver. And
Before.
But not before. Yamamoto, it was after the game had started. Yamamoto is on the mound. He pitched 5 innings. He probably could have pitched 6, maybe even 7, but because of the rain delay, they pulled him. 5 innings, gives up 1 hit, no runs, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts, but no run support for him. So it's like,
well,
really?
Lucky for him, he went the minimum of 5 innings. So no run support while he was pitching.
while he was pitching, but he does get the win because this is when Max Muncy, because I was all excited about Max Muncy, hits his second grand slam in a matter of like, I don't know, 3-4 days, something like
3
that.
games.
Yeah, 3 games.
2 grand slams in 3 games. Now, the one thing that was interesting that it's almost like, yeah, obviously you don't know these things before, but before the rain delay, and luckily none of the Rockies players got hurt, but as he's up to bat, they're letting him finish the bat. The rain is falling. You know, when they say stuff like sheets, buckets, this rain is like rain that I can't remember the last time I was in that kind of rain. Mm-hmm. It's just like, you know, it all was, you know, right over top of the stadium, it looked like. And it's just pouring down rain. It's like a waterfall. Huge, you know, Niagara Falls or bigger, you know, kind of thing, the way that it looked. And Max hits a pop-up.
Oh, right. Yes.
That should have been the end of that inning, you know, or should have at least been caught and then the end of the inning because it was just too crazy.
Yeah.
He ends up, and it goes up. Well, the infielders, the second baseman, thought he was in play for it and then lost it.
Yeah, he could not find, and I think he was getting. You've ever been hit in the eye by rain? You know?
Right. He was definitely getting hit in the face hard.
Yeah.
Because it was like turning the high pressure nozzle on, spraying it right in your face. You know, a fire hose. Like when you see them, you know, doing, you know, the SEAL training or whatever.
Yeah.
And they're blasting them in the face with a fire hose from like a foot away. That's got to be what was going on. I mean, that's how it looked.
Yeah. Yeah, it was crazy. I had, Dalton Rushing and Shohei Ohtani are on base during this part. And, the second baseman, Thadio Estrada, thought he was right under it, but he was not. And first baseman, Toglia, he was watching Estrada thinking he was tracking the ball, but Estrada is like, at one point put his glove over his face. And anyway, it drops a couple of feet in front of the first baseman. Rushing, Ohtani coming to score, and Max Muncy gets a base hit. That's what it was ruled. A base hit.
Because it's not an error like that. How do you
penalize
that wouldn't be cool.
No, it was Mother Nature. So the Dodgers took a 2-0 lead, and that's when they were like, okay, we got to put the tarp on. And a lot of people thought they should have put the tarp on way before, but it worked out. And in fact, I think it was also kind of, they had to put the tarp out. And from what I saw, the grounds crew had to stand on the tarp. Because it was so
just the wind.
And the wind had come up, yeah. So, and they were just out there. So,
and that wasn't
to the ground crew.
That wasn't even the end of that inning.
No.
When they came back, Teo singles, Pajes singles, which ends up scoring Max Muncy, and then that inning was over.
Then, yes, it was over. Yeah.
So 3 runs scored in that inning, and it was and then like I said, then Max Muncy the next inning, the top of the 7th,
hits a grand slam, and he said during that at bat that his goggles or glasses were filling up with water. Yeah. So he's like, I'm just glad I hit the ball. I didn't know where it went, what happened.
He was laughing about it, which it worked out like that it's easy to laugh about like that. I'm sure he probably felt bad if, it hit Toglia in the head and, knocked him out or something. I mean, he would have felt bad about it from that. It's not his fault.
Yeah.
And you keep
but-
playing until they tell you to stop playing.
Yeah. Yeah, and he does. You know, we call him Funky Muncie, and he got a funky hit in that game, along with the grand slam. And then Michael Conforto, 2 for 4 and a home run. So
Kind of finish up the Dodger scoring, and an 8-1 win.
8-1
See, so
win.
Yoshi got it. It took him, a couple innings after he left, and a rain delay for them to
Yeah.
do that, but they did it.
But they did it, so maybe that's something good for his next start.
Yeah, I think he's got to take it that way.
I think so. I think you just
Does
have
that mean
to-
you guys kind of like me?
Yeah. Maybe. Yes,
he needs
maybe.
his Sally Field Oscars moment.
You like me. You really like me.
Exactly.
This last game, the afternoon game in Colorado, Clayton Kershaw's on the mound. He is in the hunt. He had eight strikeouts to go to get to 3,000. And a lot of people had asked Dave Roberts, would he, depending on how it went, would he take him out and before he got to that 3,000th mark? And I don't know if that's the case here, but no, I don't think so. But Dave Roberts is like, well, yeah, maybe it'd be nice to have him do it at home. So we'll see. In this game, 6 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, gave up a walk, 5 strikeouts. So he's now 3 shy of 3,000. He did give up a home run in this game. Shohei hits number 28. And this is where Freddie Freeman was batting 4th. And he actually goes 1 for 4 and gets an RBI. So maybe something's looking up for Freddie.
Well, we'll see.
We'll
Yeah,
see.
Clayton Kershaw Appreciation Day will be returning to Dodger Stadium in the next home series. So we'll see if he can be what some people are saying, potentially the last guy to hit 3,000. Conceivably, and I looked this up, and we can talk about it more once he does it, because he's going to get it done this season unless next game he strikes out one and his arm completely falls off of his body.
No, we don't want that to happen. And the thing about this 3,000 strikeouts, one team he's done
Right.
it with. That's huge.
Right. Yeah, no, completely.
So
But the question, and like I said, we'll talk about it more. But right now, the 2 guys that were ahead of him that are active, both got over their 3,000 mark, and that would be Justin Verlander and Max Scherzer.
right.
And so him being 3 away, that, like I said, the question is he the next? Is he going to be the last one to ever hit 3,000? I don't know. At this point, it's fair to say that might be the case because people just aren't pitching as long. But I would say that right now it's too early to tell on like Paul Skeens.
Yeah, you have no idea. And Max Scherzer got his 3,000th, right? Was it his 3,000th as a Dodger? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then the only guy right now, when I look at the list, like I said, we can look more into this after when we celebrate him getting it,
Yes.
is Garrett Cole. And, of course, he's out, so that may put it into that, but he's about 800 away. And and I see him. Chris Sale, I think, is in front of him. I'd have to go back and look, but Chris Sale doesn't have as many years left as Garrett Cole potentially does. And that's what I'm basing my opinion on.
Yeah, and I mean, Garrett Cole out for the season because of Tommy John, and then Chris Sale on the IL with rib fracture. So just push those,
All right.
push those back.
So the Dodgers, like I said, they wrap up the sweep with a 3-1 victory. Great outing by Clayton Kershaw. as you said, another home run for Shohei at number 28. Player of the week?
Are we going to do Kansas City?
No. Yeah, sorry. I got ahead of myself here. Dodgers then head east about 8 hours from the middle of Denver to the other side of Kansas, from the middle of Colorado to the eastern side of Kansas, and then the western side of Missouri. I'm making it more difficult, aren't I?
They went to Kansas City.
The Dodgers, the Dodgers just head east to Kansas City, Missouri, to take on the Royals. I think it would be safe to say, based on what we saw last year, that expectations not being met at Kauffman Stadium this year.
Well,
The Royals seem to be a little disappointing. While he's overall having a good season, it seems Bobby Witt Jr. Not hearing his name a lot.
Yeah, you really don't. And he made some good play. I mean, he's a good infielder, obviously. But there was a couple of plays where he kind of bobbled the ball here and there, and he just didn't look like
sophomore jinx.
Maybe. Could be. Could be.
He is one of the two shortstops. I don't think he's going to get past the kid from the Athletics.
No.
But who knows? We'll talk about that later in the show here in Around Baseball. In the meantime, though, what happened?
Well,
we went to Kansas City. Everything
City.
is up to date in Kansas City. That's why I expect them to play better.
Yeah. Well,
you don't know what I'm talking about, do you?
I'm like, up to date? What's up to date in Kansas City?
Oh, you're killing me.
I don't know. You got to tell me.
What do you kind of consider your home state?
Oklahoma?
Where the wind goes whistling down the plains.
Yes.
Have you ever seen the musical?
Yeah, but
when the guy comes, one of the first songs in the movie, other than Oklahoma,
is
okay. Everything's up to date in Kansas City.
Yeah,
because he just come from Kansas City back to Oklahoma.
Yeah, forgot about that one. I just kind of
No, okay. So we'll just go with Wilbur Harrison, the Dodgers. We're going to Kansas City. Because they got some crazy little baseball there, and they want to get some wins.
In the first game, Dodgers win this game 5-4. Shohei Ohtani, 29th home run, his a leadoff home run that usually always bodes well. And Max Muncy has a home run in this game. Dustin May is on the mound, only pitches 4 innings. Gives up 6 hits, 4 runs, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts, and gave up a home run. So, I read recently, I saw a stat, and I'll need to go back and find it, about pitchers who have had Tommy John surgery at least twice in their career. Whether they had the surgery or then they get the internal, the brace, that when they come back, the majority of them, they're just not the same on the mound. And that's how I feel about Dustin May. I like Dustin May. I see flashes of brilliance from him when he was a rookie and he came in and he was code red, but just don't see that as much anymore. And when you look at the starters right now for the Dodgers, you have Yamamoto, Kershaw, and May. He has to pull his weight in that, and he's only going 4 innings, 5 innings, maybe 6, but even when he goes 6, he's not, it's not great. The outing just isn't great. It's mediocre. And the Dodgers end up winning the game, but is there something that Mark Pryor can look at and help.
So the
Dustin
question is, did they win more because of because their offense buoyed them than the pitching? Because you've got, obviously Dustin May has had, kind of so-so to substandard starts for a while now. I think we've mentioned Walker Buehler, who pitched versus the Angels. He's had 2 Tommy Johns. Maybe that's the case. Here's a chance that we're going to get to see whether Shohei is really the unicorn that we think he is.
Yeah.
And not be. And honestly, bringing this up, I just read a story about Max. And it reminded me about something that Max Muncy had, could have had Tommy John surgery as well. Not because he threw out his arm, but he got injured, and it wasn't because of that. It was because of a collision
Right.
that, pulled his arm. But it was generally the same type of injury as far as the tear goes, right?
Yes. Yes, that's correct.
He has been 2 years now. He didn't have surgery. 2 years to finally get right. And, even when he got the glasses, it didn't really, yes, he got a home run the first game out after getting the glasses. It corrected a problem that would have been there, for a while had he not gotten them. But I wonder if part of it, there a lot of talk about that started back in January of this year with the team showing up, hitting coaches and that showing up in Texas to talk to him about what they could start doing to get him back in. But I wonder if that as far as baseball goes, that elbow injury has had an effect, even though it's not on his throwing hand.
Right.
But it is part of his swing. And he said that the stigmatism was making his left eye the dominant eye. Well, when you're a left-handed batter, that puts your left eye at the back of the plate.
Right. Not ideal.
It's not full on. Your lead eye is your right eye.
Yeah.
But so obviously that was a problem. That helped with the stigmatism, but it didn't help with the problems he was having with the bat. Mm-hmm. He said on May 9th versus the Diamondbacks, he hit a single back up. Part of it was his mental process when he got to the plate. Not what am I going to do? How am I going to keep my bat in the right place? He came up thinking, what's the situation and what do I need to do? Which has always been his strong point. And you can go back and look at early years where that was the case. But I think he's just finally getting right from that, fully right from that. And with the pitchers, we've seen, even with the first Tommy John, it can take them 2 years before they're fully right. Even though they're off for a year, the next season is still a rehab year. Really. So Tommy John is not a 12 to 18 month thing. It's a 18 to 24 month thing, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I think there, like I said, there are times when you look at Dustin May when he's pitching and you're like, this is Dustin May. I remember Dustin May. But obviously, when you have a repaired elbow twice over, it's going to be different. It's going to work differently. And so I'd like Dustin May, and I'd like to see him to his full potential. But right now, it's just hard to see that.
I don't think his full potential happens in LA.
Well, and that, again, is another, that's something else.
And it's not about...
It's been talked about.
And it's not about that he's not there, that he can't, contribute, because at some point he can. maybe not as a starter, but they don't have any other choice right now, I don't think,
No.
being number one. Number two, I think there's something that he needs. He needs to go somewhere with less pressure. Mm-hmm. Number one. Number two, I don't think it helped either that esophageal tear or whatever it was. I think that played a mental game with him as well.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And having to come back from those things is really not.
No, I think it could really be it's the surgery, but then also the mental. I think it's a big mental part. But yeah, in this game, obviously the bullpen came in, and because Dustin May gave up the runs that the Royals got, and in the game, let's see. Never mind, strike that. Yeah, so Dodgers win this game 5-4. Second game, Dodgers lose this game 9-5, but Shohei's on the mound. And Seth Lugo's on the mound, but Shohei's on the mound. That's what we're concerned about. He actually pitches 2 innings, gives up a hit, no runs, 1 walk, 1 strikeout, and hit 101.7 miles per hour, which I'm not, I'm like, okay. But that's something, right?
Well, and it's the hardest pitch he's ever thrown.
Ever.
So, to me, it's like, that's good. He's got that strength. Let him throw 100, occasionally. But if I'm the Dodgers, I'm less excited about 100 and more about better control, that he's able to do 2 innings, throw 27 pitches, which is pretty much what he threw in his first outing in 1 inning. So it seems like he's getting better. The problem is in this game is that not that it mattered because it was only two innings, no real effect on the game. What you need though is that until he's fully stretched out and you can trust that he can go more innings, you need the guys like Ben Kasparius that you've been trusting to take up the bulk innings to do better than he did.
Oh, yeah. So he comes in, he pitches 4 innings, he gives up 8 hits, 6 runs, gave up a walk, and had 4 strikeouts. The top 4 batters in Kansas City's lineup combined to go 11 for 17. They had 8 runs, 4 doubles, a home run, 8 RBIs, a walk, and just 1 strikeout. Jonathan India was 4 for 5 with an RBI. Bobby Witt Jr. was 4 for 5, including his major league leading 28th double. And then Pasquantino, he had an awesome game and hit like a Vinny Pasquantino had hit like a 430-foot 3-run home run. So Dodgers lose this game, but in this game, Max Muncy's 2 for 4, but this is the bigger thing. Freddie Freeman, 3 for 3, hit a home run.
So the clock starts on that one too.
Yes.
Was the last time you said May 9th?
Yeah, it was
so
like
the day
Mother's
that
Day.
Max Muncy finally felt what he wanted to feel and broke out of that slump and has been hitting like 400 since.
Yes.
And 47 RBIs in that time. In all that same time that he's been doing that, he's been carrying Freddie's load.
Yeah, most definitely. Because Freddie Freeman in the month of June had a 557 OPS. 557 OPS. That's the worst of his career. It's not.
What is going on with Freddie?
I don't know. And so he had this home run. The next day, he doesn't play.
This is interesting. The way that, because think about this. Freddie Freeman, his batting average is like in this game, the loss, the second game, his batting average is 312. In the same game, Max Muncy's is 255. But Max had been batting so poorly now for so long that his batting average should probably be over 300 at this point. But going from 170 to 255 is a lot harder than going from 340 or whatever Freddie's was to 312.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
And so Freddie being in that slump of across the board, when you look at it just at the numbers, this is where numbers can be confusing. This is where they can be, not confusing, but it just, it's like I was reading a story the other day about how politicians use numbers in a report. So they'll cherry pick information.
Oh, yeah.
And we've all known that'll happen, but they were just saying how to push their agenda and make what they're trying to get across better, look better. And when you look at it, Max Muncy is going to probably lose out for the starter job to Manny Machado. Probably rightly so. Manny Machado's been consistent the whole season. And Max has just finally turned it on. But Freddie Freeman had started off much better and will probably be the starter, even though his numbers don't actually. So if you only look at the numbers, his numbers don't match up. And who was number 2 for the first baseman?
Oh, I just voted too.
Well, it doesn't matter who's number 2 at this point. The thing is that we go back and look at it. We can look at it later when we talk about who actually won out. But the potentially the other guy could be Pete Alonso.
Pete Alonso. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. But it was like, and I just found it because I was looking at my ballot and I'm like, that's not right.
Yeah, no, it just popped in my head. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But Pete Alonso started off a little slow and has picked it up since.
Right.
So, looking at those things, not that Freddie doesn't deserve it. I vote for Freddie too. Mm-hmm. But it just shows that if you only go by the numbers, on the surface numbers, it could give you a far different picture and not an accurate picture of what's really going on.
That is very true.
So anyways, he does break that slump, which is good. We'll see if it makes any difference. And we go to the rubber match of the 3-game set.
And the Dodgers win this game 5-1. Teoscar and Will Smith have home runs in this game. Teoscar Hernandez, not Teoscar Smith, if you were wondering. And Max Muncy was 1 for 4 in this game with a double.
I was waiting to see what Will Hernandez did.
Yes. Justin Orbolowski threw the bulk of the innings. I think it's a career high for him. He threw 6 innings and gave up 3 hits, no runs, and 6 strikeouts. And it was his first scoreless outing longer than 4 1/3 innings after allowing just 3 hits and striking out 6, which is 1 shy of his career high.
Big praise for JW from Doc and the team on this one. And I think that whenever they see something like this, I think they get a little too excited.
A little too, yeah. I think so because he comes back out and then pitches horribly. Then that's like, is that a one-off?
Right. It's just like just like we were talking about with what's his name, Kasperius. He has a couple of good outings, but now he's had a few bad outings, and that's where it's like, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Honestly, I think the Dodgers did the right thing with Emmett Sheehan, where number one, he needed to get more work to continue to get stretched out, but number two, good outing, but we get all excited about it, and then he goes out the next time and he gets shelled.
Right.
And it's like, why didn't you do that? It's like there's no winning. So I think at this point they've got about a 7-game lead, roughly. When everything was like, when they played the Dregs, they were within a couple of games, and the Giants, they were like right there on the verge of being tied. And now they're 7 games up. Let's not get too fired up. And you know what? Let them work this so that these guys, how about at the end of the season, we have 20 pitchers ready.
Yeah, which when we need them.
And then that way, if something happens during the playoffs, we've got some arms that are ready to go or whatever. Instead of it happening where, we had them all at the beginning, and now that they're in the end and everybody's getting hurt, maybe Blake Snell coming back, and I just read around the beginning of August, or August time frame, Glass now maybe there. If they can stay healthy, and they come back, get stretched out, have a good September to fully get back in, they're ready for October. Maybe this can work out for them for a second run. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
The Dodgers end up on this road trip. They played 6 games. They won 5 of those games. So good road trip because they have struggled on the road. And I don't know, is it because they're playing the Colorado and Kansas City has been, this year. I don't know.
Kansas City, I think there's something to, like, Colorado I get.
Right.
But Kansas City threw 2 of their better pitchers at them, and they pretty much had their way with Seth Lugo and Chris Bubik, who was there on. They got him out of there. That he went 5 innings, but they more or less had their way with him compared to, and then the bullpen as well. But he gave up, 2 runs, as did, and the bullpen gave up 3 combined.
Yeah.
So Bubik's a potential all-star. So it's I think that's a good sign that they're seeing good pitchers.
Yeah.
And they're playing well against them. Or they're able to make it through, and like they did versus Dylan Cease. They were able to make their way against him, and then they got to Suarez. That's.
Well, and I think even
we
in
got to see
Colorado,
those things. They're not just going to go through and steamroll everybody.
Right, exactly. And even in Colorado, they had what's his name, Chase Dollander, who's been pretty much their go-to, as far as a rotation has gone, because Hermain Marquez has always been, he's really...
He's a roller coaster.
He is. You just never know. So the Dodgers, really good road trip. They head back home. They take on the Chicago White Sox for 3, and then the weekend series will bring in the Houston Asterix.
Oh, that's right. American League home series.
And Kershaw Appreciation Day will be happening, like you said, during this homestand. I think it will be against the White Sox, so we'll be watching that.
And we'll also see Shohei versus the White Sox, I believe.
Yes.
And we'll see if he just does 2 again, or if they push to 3.
Yep, we'll see that. And then just an update, Tyler Glasnow is on a rehab assignment in Oklahoma City. They said his stuff looked good. His pitches looked good. They wanted him to throw at least 3 innings. He only was able to throw 2 1/3 innings. He went like 40 pitches in the first inning. Gave up 5 runs, 7 hits. And they just said he wasn't efficient enough. And the part of the problem is he said he made mechanical changes over on the off season. But Dave Roberts thinks, and I think this is probably could be a big thing where if he's not already sitting down with a sports psychologist, he definitely needs to, or sits down with Max Muncy and just throw the ball because he's too worried about where he's throwing the ball instead of just pitching. And I think he's trying, when they say he's not efficient, I think he was trying to be efficient and it was working against him. It was working, and not in his favor. So he's going to have at least 2 more rehab starts, if not more. And we'll go from there. After the All-Star break, we'll see where he ends up. Blake Snell, another kind of roller coaster. When is he coming back? He did throw a bullpen in Kansas City. It looks like he's going to throw another one here at home. When he faces pitchers, we don't know. And Roki Sasaki, again, is a question mark. Got an injection in his shoulder, is feeling good, is playing catch, but hasn't done anything else. So just don't know about him. But we really do need Snell and Glasnow back.
Sure enough. And Blake Trinan
and Blake Trinan and all
Kirby
those guys.
Yates.
So you asked me earlier my player of the week, and my player of the week is Max Muncy.
That's who I was going to go with as well. So easy peasy.
Yep.
Max Muncy easy. All right, time to get in the bullpen cart, take a ride around baseball. And a lot of times at the beginning of the month, we have the players of the month, but we'll have those next week because we don't have a full accounting yet from MLB. But we do have this week's MLB player, or last week, I guess, players of the week.
Yes, so players of the week will go to the National League and head to Cincinnati. First baseman Spencer Steer, 522 batting average, 1.477 OPS, hit 3 home runs and had 7 RBIs. And in the American League, he's got to be the Cy Young at this point. Tarek Skubal, 2 wins, 21 strikeouts, and 2 walks in that time. And those are the players of the week for Major League Baseball.
All right, sad news coming to us from San Francisco. Cuz is a minor league giant.
Yeah.
Playing in the Arizona Complex League for now. I'm sure he'll probably be up with the big team at some point when they need the backup or whatever. I'm not real sure of their catching situation up there.
Their catching hasn't been great. They've got a younger catcher. So I think that Austin, as much as I hate to see him sign with the Giants, I am glad, he's signed somewhere. He's a veteran presence. And I wish that the Dodgers would just bring him as a coach, because he's a good, he works well with younger pitchers. He just works well with the pitching staff. And, but yeah, that is very sad news coming out of San Francisco. So I'm sure he'll be called up at some point. We'll see.
I think so too. Buster Posey is a catcher who runs things up there in San Francisco now. Hall of Fame catcher for sure when his time gets there. I think he'll end up wanting him there, especially if they get into the playoffs, because you're going to want maybe, if his bat may not be that big of a deal, but you're going to want him there, especially with the pitching. They got a pretty talented pitching staff up there. We didn't mention either former Giants, Lamont Wade Jr. We may have mentioned he showed up, but he's still hanging around with the Angels. And as long as Mike Trout's still DHing and not being able to play the field, which who knows when that's going to happen, I figure Lamont Wade will be there. But once he's able to go back out and play the field, or when Jorge Soler's off of the IL, I would suspect that he's probably going to be DFA'd after that, unfortunately. So you sent me a couple of different things.
Yeah.
That, they're not interesting information. One of them we didn't even talk about when it first was a story. Now that it's in place.
I think we talked and we're like, hey, we need to mention that. And as we often do, we don't.
Right. Yeah, exactly. True enough. So since you sent them, which one do you want to start with?
Let's go with, I'm going to go with Cosmic Baseball.
Okay.
First. Just because I like the second one is not that this isn't fun, but you probably have seen the social media post of Cosmic Baseball where it's under black lights. And anyway, it's a new take on, it features UV reflective neon balls and fluorescent jerseys, and it's played before fans of all ages. The first half of the game, though, is pretty much just a regular matchup. The pitchers are in helmets. The players run the bases backward. So kind of, maybe with a little bit of, banana ball thrown in, just a sprinkle. But then they have an intermission. And then that's when the cosmic transformation takes place. And, it's 80 to 85% of the players who make up the two teams, the Cosmic Chili Peppers and the Glow Mojis, are former professionals who either were in the minor leagues or they played abroad and they wanted to be they wanted to keep playing and they wanted to do something different. This guy, Chris Martin, who is the creator and co-founder of the league, he founded the Tri-City Chili Peppers a few years ago as part of a summer collegiate league. And he was like, hey, why don't we try to play baseball in the dark? So he started, playing around with it, and they figured it out. And now it is in its second season, and you can't miss it. It's on social media. You can find it. This is crazy. The wait list for tickets, 300,000 to 400,000 people are on a wait list just to see this game. Their merchandise, their swag is long lines at the stadiums. They play at Shepherd Stadium in Colonial Heights, Virginia. There's only a seating capacity of 2,000 people. So
that, with the waiting list like that, that's probably, the bigger thing is that if you can't put say 10,000 at a time in there.
Exactly. So they expanded their summer schedule, and they are going to be going on the road to larger parks like in Nashville and Sugarland, Texas, and Durham, North Carolina.
AAA stadiums.
And and MLB has been backing this Cosmic Baseball, so exhibition games could maybe be played in a host of minor league parks, even some major league parks. So we'll see where this goes. It would be fun. When I went and saw the bananas, Savannah Bananas, and that it was fun. But it's kind of it's not like I want to go see them all the time. And this would be another thing. So I guess it's more, getting people, interested. People who are like, baseball's boring. But then they see it played in this cosmic. I think that's kind of cool because they are playing the game.
Right. Yeah,
There's
yes, it's a novelty, but they're not saying, the banana ball folks, the dude that runs that has come out and said, you know, this should be, and even if it's just showmanship, this should be how baseball is played, and that's never going to happen.
no.
These guys are saying we're going to go out there and have fun, and we're going to do it differently. And the other thing that they did, and who knows what could lead from here, but when they first went to the company about all the black lights, that company said, nah, you could probably put like 300 or 400 lights out there. It's not going to reflect, or illuminate the way that you want it to. And then, and they didn't just say, sorry. I mean, they kind of did at the time, but they
Yeah.
said, we don't see that the technology that's in place is going to work. But what's his name? Chris Martin, I think, is the guy,
Yeah.
the lead singer of Coldplay.
Yes.
Apparently is behind all this stuff. He that's funny because he pitches. He's a relief pitcher.
Yeah.
Now he's
He does
doing this.
lots of things. He has
He's
his
got
hands
a
in
lot of
different-
irons in the fire. He's got to strike the iron while it's hot.
Yes, exactly.
And then, but he inspired them enough to say, "Can we do this? Is this possible?" And instead of it being like, "Sorry, there's just no way that it's going to make it work," that company, unbeknownst to them, created their own challenge, and then came back to them 6 months or a year later or whatever it was,
Yeah.
and said, let's try this. We think we can do this now.
Yeah.
And boom, look at what's happening.
Yeah, so look for it maybe in a city near you in the future. But would you get tickets? I don't know. I mean, it's at the wait list in Virginia, I guess, is that 300,000 to 400,000.
Well, but
People.
think about this. Savannah Bananas played in Savannah.
Yeah.
They had a wait list problem, still have a wait list problem
Yes, still.
there. Every place that they've gone, as far as I know, they've sold out.
Yeah, everywhere.
So, I mean, that's their shtick, and that's what they're going to have to roll with. But, yeah.
Yeah.
But it is kind of cool when you see it. Just look that up, Cosmic Baseball. There's quite a few videos of it out there, and you can see them, doing cartwheels around the bases or running backwards. You can see the nighttime, the ball glowing, the jerseys glowing. People playing catch
Yeah.
with this ball, and it's weird because you got somebody and you see their arm moving, and then all of a sudden you'll see the ball come out. It's not like knowing where the ball is beforehand when you're playing under lights or in daylight.
Right.
So interesting.
Yeah. And the next story that we were going to mention way back, and then we didn't, is the show last week with John Oliver. He had challenged a minor league baseball team to let his show rebrand a team without the team's input, and the team could not veto. Once, if they decided that once the idea came up, you can't veto the idea. So
How many teams raised their hand for this, submissions? Because I know the Trash Pandas did.
yeah.
And the what is it, the Erie County Seawolves or whatever they
Yeah,
did.
the Erie
Who else?
Seawolves.
The Erie Seawolves.
40.
And then
There were 40 minor league teams
that all
that submitted total, and it was the Erie Seawolves who their pitch was they had a 11 point paper on why they should be chosen. And one of the president of the team, Greg Coleman, and his assistant, Greg Gania, they were like, okay, this is what they thought was going to win it and for them, and this is what did win it for them, maybe, was one of the reasons, is because in 2017 they had alternative facts night at their stadium, and it's when the Seawolves celebrated a championship that they never won against the very team that had won it the prior year. So the team they were playing, they were celebrating that night that they won the championship, which I think is awesome. That's one of the reasons I love minor league, because they got to get people in. They do kind of stuff like this, and it's just a lot of fun. So they won. So
they got that night. They got rings from an undefeated season.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to do it, you got to do it upright. And of course, we know at that time frame, the whole thing of alternate facts was huge on the political landscape and in the world. Oh, it's my alternate fact. I'm a billionaire.
Right.
You know.
Yes.
And they actually went 62-79 in 15 games out of first place. But that's hilarious.
So the Erie Seawolves, they give their identity over to the last week with John Oliver, and they officially, it will be an alternate identity for them, as we see with many minor league teams. On July 19th, they will be the Erie Moon Mammoths. And the president of the club was like, I could have put all of the players, everybody in a room, and we would have never come up with this. Real quickly, in the summer of 1991, a scuba diver named George Moon was in Lake Pleasant in Erie County, Pennsylvania, where they play, and he broke the surface. He had a 3-foot-long bone. He didn't know what it was. He thought, he'd stumbled across the shoulder blade of a creature, something like that was on land. And he also had no idea that his prehistoric discovery would somehow become part of a new identity for the Erie Seawolves. It turned out that he had found a small part of a very large mammoth. And on further dives, Moon and other scuba divers made in that part of Lake Pleasant, they were able to get like 80% of the mammoth's remains. And they found both tusks. So
wow.
Now known locally in Erie as the Moon Mammoth, and now more than 3 decades later, the Erie Seawolves will be the Erie Moon Mammoths, and they are the AA affiliate of the Detroit Tigers. And the stuff is really cool. You can go onto the Fanatics link and you can get merchandise. It's purple. It has this really, kind of a cartoony mammoth, but it's just fun.
He's wearing a space helmet.
It has stars around him. One of them, he is on the moon with his space helmet. So I thought that, 40 teams and they were chosen. I think it's really cool. I think it would be cool if this would be something that Last Week with John Oliver does in the future.
Yeah, that would be very cool. I'm looking at the information, at the information here as well. Looking at all the gear, and it's fun. That's all that matters. And very, very minor league-ish. So
yes.
Maybe he could come and rebrand a podcast that is done just for the fun of it.
Exactly. That would be awesome. Maybe we need to write him a letter.
Maybe we do. Hey, can you do something for our podcast? We are this. Yeah, we should do that. You're right. We should. I like it. I don't know if you saw this or not, but Luis Severino, pitcher for the Athletics, knowing the Athletics were going to play in Sacramento, signed with them anyway, and has been one of their worst pitchers in Sacramento.
Yes.
When he's on the road, he's great. He's come out recently and said, I hate Sacramento. Not Sacramento itself, but the ballpark there. He goes,
Yeah, he doesn't like the small crowds. He says there's a lack of air conditioning. Yeah, he just doesn't
yeah,
like
you can't. And he likes to go between innings and go down into the clubhouse or go back into the tunnel, and watch the game on there just to give himself a break for a minute. You can't do that there because the clubhouse is in left field. So and when you look at it, he's pitched pretty well on the road. Pitched pretty well versus his old team, the Yankees. Mm-hmm. And they say, why? He goes, I'm in a major league ballpark. That's why. I have all the comforts at home, not this.
Yeah, I think the A's are ready for him. He's ready to leave, and the A's are ready for him to leave as well. Will he be traded during the? You know,
I don't know.
It seems
He could
like
be.
he's likely. That's what Bob Nightingale says. I don't know how.
Well, yeah, you can never be sure
know.
about Nightingale.
Exactly, but I think the general manager and maybe the pitcher, all the players, the rest of the players, everybody, the bat boy, they're just tired of watching and hearing him rant about Sacramento. But did you see? I mean, he signed with them, and like you said, knowing where they were going to be playing, and you saw the pictures of him walking into Sutterfield Park, and he just had this look of disappointment on his face, and just like, what did you expect? What did you expect?
I'm honestly surprised that he hasn't put himself in a situation to end up on the wheel. Oh,
So the wheel is pretty not. We still have people that are continually on the wheel and have been for a little Rendon, but well, I've only got 3 guys that I could that really, like Orioles starting pitcher Zach Elfin is on the 15-day IL with lower back discomfort. Luis Robert Jr. is on the 10-day with a strained hamstring, and Detroit's Kerry Carpenter is on the 10-day IL with the strained hamstring. That's it. That's my IL.
I wonder how Luis Severino hasn't figured that out. Like, how many people have I stubbed my toe, or Mookie had a stubbed toe, doing something. I hurt my back while I was picking up a piece of paper off the floor. Oh, my kid dropped his oatmeal, so I was bending down to pick it up. I banged my head and threw out my back. I'm going to be on the 60-day. He could do something. Maybe it's because he doesn't want to be in Sacramento for on the IL there.
Maybe.
I don't know.
He wants to be able to travel.
He wants to go someplace. He wants to go to the other ballparks.
He does.
It's like, we're going back to Sacramento for 6 games. Where do we go after that? We're supposed to go to Miami. I'll meet you guys in Miami, and
yeah, I'll see you there.
I'll meet you guys in Pittsburgh. I'll meet you guys in
wherever. Tampa Bay's Junior Caminero is 21 years old, and he has hit 21 home runs in June. So by the end of June, he had 21 home runs. The reason I bring this up is because no other player 21 years or younger has hit more than 19 home runs before the beginning of July. In a season in American League history, the last guy to do it, the 19 home runs, this happened in 1986. Just talked about his team. Who do you think it is? He's a loudmouth. And he wore the green and gold.
Jose Canseco?
Yes, Jose Canseco. 19 home runs in 1986, and now Junior Caminero, 21 home runs.
Thanks for the tip on the colors, because you said we just talked about his team, and for the life of me, I couldn't remember what team we were talking about.
And then we need to bring up another youngster Red Sox,
Yes.
Wilyer Abreu.
Oh my God, are we going to really pay off something we teased at
We
the beginning
are.
and the middle of the show?
We are.
This kid did something that had only been done, I think had only been done by one other guy who's not in the Hall of Fame, oddly enough. A grand slam and an inside the park home run in the same game.
I know. Crazy. Crazy. He was 2 for 5 in that game. He had 5 RBIs. He's the first player to hit an inside the park home run and have another home run be a grand slam in the same game since 1958 when Roger Maris did it.
Who?
Roger Maris.
Who?
Who
The
also
guy who
in
broke
1960
Bruce record?
Yes. Who also in 1962 was intentionally walked 4
See?
or more times.
I told you we had one guy 2 times.
Yes.
Awesome. All right, so coming up on, what is it, July 15th?
Yes.
July
Yeah,
15th, it will be, so it's been a year almost since you and I traveled to Arlington, Texas to do a study on how heat affects you.
Not well.
Geez, it was hot and nasty.
So hot. If you want to go, Globe Life Field, the grill, it is a beautiful ballpark. You walk in there.
Barbecue.
It's barbecue. That's how I felt. I was being barbecued outside. But you walk in there and they got the AC cranked and it makes everything. And then the ballpark, the field is laid out before you. And you're
And
like,
they
everything
talk
is
to
better.
you in calm, cool
Voices.
Voices.
With a twang, with a little bit of a twang, depending on who you're talking to.
So that part made it great.
Yes.
And now I haven't looked to see what the weather's supposed to be like in Atlanta. We know it'll be hot and muggy.
Yeah, and sticky.
Yep, it's not going to be good there. Current temperatures, it's like it says it feels like 88 degrees, even though it's 83 with the 71% humidity. The one thing I wonder about too is rain, because they don't have a roof there.
Right, no roof. And July on the East Coast is notorious for afternoon thunderstorms, evening thunderstorms. So we'll
upper
see.
80s, low 90s over the next couple of weeks there. So that should be where it is. So it might be a little cooler, technically.
maybe.
But still going to be tough, and not getting to play inside. I'm sure it'll have an effect on things. We've got what? How many so far? 3 or 4. They're going to be in the home run derby that have been announced so far.
So I have Ronald Acuna. I've heard Ronald Acuna Jr. and Cal
Raleigh.
Raleigh. That's it.
Every time I almost say Cal Raleigh Jr. too, because I keep thinking Cal Naughton Jr. Talladega Nights.
Oh,
Shake and
yeah.
bake.
Shake and bake. That's right. Yeah, those are the only 2 I've heard. Teoscar Hernandez is not going to be participating. He said because he had the injury earlier in the season, he just wants to, it took a lot out of him, he said. But we were there to see it. We were there to see him win that home run derby, which was very cool. I don't know if Bobby Witt Jr. will do it. I haven't heard about Pete Alonso. Maybe last year, he did not do great.
He didn't do very well. Yeah.
No.
Shohei said no.
Right.
So
Which
I don't.
makes
Yeah, it'll be
sense.
interesting to see how that works out. But that is that's one part of it. Obviously, we have starters that we'll be going through with you here in just a couple of moments. Why don't we look real quick before we break everything down? Who were our finalists in each league? I'll take one, you can take the other, and I'll let you start so you can pick.
I'll just do well, you know what? I'll start with the National League since I'm the Dodger fan, and you can take the American League. In the National League, the first baseman Freddie Freeman and Pete Alonso, we had alluded to that earlier. Those are the two finalists. Second base, Ketel Marte and Tommy Edman of the Dodgers. Shortstop, Francisco Lindor and Mookie Betts. Third base, Manny Machado. Monty Machado. We're just giving everybody different names today. Manny Machado and Max Muncy. In the outfield, Ronald Acuna Jr., Pete Crow Armstrong, Kyle Tucker, Teoscar Hernandez, Juan Soto, and my favorite, who I've been voting for, and I hope he makes it, I don't know, but Andy Pages rounds out number 6. And for the catchers, Will Smith and Carson Kelly of the Cubs.
All right. And in the American League, the finalists for first base, Paul Goldschmidt and Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Jackson Holliday and Gleyber Torres at second base. Third base, Alex Bregman and Jose Ramirez. Here's the one that has probably been the biggest surprise. Jacob Wilson from the A's, rookie shortstop there is at top. So the fans of Sacramento are definitely voting out for him. Bobby Witt Jr. is the other finalist. Behind the plate, it is the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. And then Alejandro Kirk from the Blue Jays is the other one. And in the outfield, we already know that Aaron Judge, Ron Judge, is already a starter by the votes in the first round. Detroit has been supporting their two big guys, Riley Green, Javi Baez, and then Stephen Kwan and Mike Trout are the other on that. And then the designated hitter is Ryan O'Hearn or Bruce Rice. So we'll give you all of that before we give you the winners. Your picks, and it doesn't have to be any of the finalists, but of the people that you voted for. Let's say in the first round, we never really talked about our initial picks. Who are and the reason that I thought about this was that the IBWAA, we always have our own internal votes on things, but we don't leave it to here's 3 choices, pick one. You can pick anybody.
Anybody. It could be anybody.
Of that. So who would you let's start off and let's go. We'll do each position for each league.
Well, and I failed to mention Shohei Ohtani is already, come on. Everybody, I didn't even need to mention it. He is the DH, so.
All right, so first base. Who was your pick?
First base. My pick for first base. I'm trying to remember. So, for the National League, I did go with Freddie, but I know he struggles at the plate right now, but defensively he's awesome. For the American League, I'm trying to think who would I go with in the American League. I want to say that I went with This is tough. I wish you would kind of put me on the spot here.
I like doing that.
I know you do. Oh man.
Well, I mean,
I
if
don't
it
remember who first base. I know shortstop was Jacob Wilson. I've been since they were there playing against the Dodgers. I was like, yeah, this kid, he's awesome. I want to say that I went with, now I don't know, maybe you need to go because I don't know.
So I too have been voting for Freddie Freeman, and I'm not worried about the slump because he started off strong, played well, and now he's had a little bit of a slump. He's going to come back.
Yeah.
I wasn't worried about that, and that's why I voted for him consistently. First
Me
base
too.
in the American League, I voted for Nolan Schanuel. Not because I'm an Angels fan, but because as I looked through everything, Paul Goldschmidt, Vladdy Guerrero are easy picks, and I probably could have found a couple of others that are picks, but he was the guy that I voted for consistently time after time.
I think for first base, I looked at Spencer Torkelson of the Tigers.
See, that's fair. All right, second base. Through the first round, I voted for Tommy Edman.
Me too.
And even here in the second round, on the MLB site, that's who I voted for. I just went with the Dodger. Nothing against Ketel Marte, who, by the way, if you didn't see, I don't know what was said. I don't know if it's ever come out, but a young fan, like in his early 20s, said something about Ketel Marte's mother, who died about 8 years ago in a car accident. And whatever it was he said shook up Ketel Marte.
Yeah, he said something about, I talked to your mom last night, or something about your mom, and
Obviously
which
not
is
knowing
stupid
that his mom's
Yeah,
not alive.
exactly.
And, just being an idiot. And even when they talked to him, when they were at the stadium and they were there talking to him, he was trying to laugh it off. He looked like a jerk. And then later it's like, dude, his mom's dead. Why would you? And it's like, I'm sorry, I didn't know. And yeah, I shouldn't have, too late. He's been banned not only from he's been banned for all ballparks, period.
Yeah, so he's, I mean, just stupid. I mean, that's just keep your mouth shut. Root for your team, but yeah, you got to be quiet when it comes to that kind of stuff, because you don't know, and everybody is going. You don't know, and
Nope.
What people are going through. Second
So
base.
for second base, I went with Gleyber Torres. I wanted him to come
Yeah.
to the Angels. Ends up there, has been playing great baseball.
Yeah,
At
I would agree with that one.
at third base,
Third base.
I didn't vote for either of the finalists. Mm-hmm. I voted for Zach McKinstry.
Oh yeah, Zach has been good, and and deserving, I think.
He's part of that, Tigers team that has been playing above their heads, I think. We may see a little problem in the second half,
see.
but
Yeah. I went with Jose Ramirez just because he's Jose, but and I voted for Max Muncy for the National League because I can't vote for Machado ever.
no, and I voted for Max along the way, even independently. I did not vote for, obviously here on this one, I'm voting for Wilson at shortstop.
Yes.
I haven't voted for Mookie Betts. While defensively he's finally come around, his bat still hasn't. And I know a lot of that could be because of his early season struggles, but he still hasn't really, you don't hear his name that much.
Right.
And I've been voting for Francisco Lindor because he's been playing well, and he's never been a starter. I don't know how that's the
Right.
case ever.
I know. I have also there's a few times I voted for Mookie, but then I read somewhere that he had never been an all-star, which I'm like, how is that possible? voted. How is that possible? So
I don't know.
I have voted for him as well.
For shortstop, I've been voting for up until independently and before the second round, Zach Neto, because I believe he's been playing very well and has earned an all-star spot, and he may be the guy that gets picked up by the Angels for the Angels spot. My hope is whoever shows up for the Angels gets to play this time. Not that I needed to see Tyler Anderson in the funky home uniforms last year, but
Yeah.
you want to see that. Behind the plate, Will Smith. There's no other question. There's no even Carson
I
Kelly's
think-
been good, but I don't.
Yeah, no, Will Smith definitely, and then in the AL, come on, Cal Raleigh. You got to go with Cal Raleigh. That's who I had to go with.
Well, you got to reward this first half because who knows what's going to happen in the second half. You
True.
can't automatically think he's going to have he's had a historic season so far. Will it go on? Let's hope for his sake. I don't care if the Mariners do anything, against the Mariners doing anything, but I'm fine with Cal Raleigh Jr. with Cal Raleigh having a great. Did you hear how he got his nickname, the Big Dumper?
No, I haven't.
Imagine exactly what you would think it is.
Yeah.
And Jared Kalalik, who was his teammate in Seattle, and then of course he went to Miami, and Atlanta. I think that Atlanta's released him or is going to. He gave him the nickname just because he had such a big butt.
Oh.
So
All right, there you go.
all right, and then in the outfield, we know that part of that, but the three, I voted for Judge as one of my three,
Me
regardless.
too.
Riley
voted-
Green,
Yes, me too.
seeing him play, I'm for sure I'm there, and then Stephen Kwan. And I'll tell you this, whether it's true or not, whether he deserves it or not, I have my moments with Javi Baez, and I think that's why I haven't.
Another
Voted
guy
for
that I voted for, not consistently, but did give him threw some votes his way, was Byron Buxton. He's been having a good year. So
Yeah.
for the Twins.
I thought about him, but had to let it go.
So, but yeah, definitely Judge and definitely Riley Green. They were both consistent on my ballot.
And then the National League, Pico,
Yep.
Andy Pages, and then Teoscar. But
that's been mine. Yeah.
I did consider Kyle Tucker.
I considered Kyle Tucker, but did not vote for him. But I had to vote. Pico Armstrong, had to vote for him, and Andy Pages. I just think he, he's been so great this season, and consistent. So yeah, he is my consistent guy that I have voted for on all of my ballots.
All right, so let me see if I can find a drum roll, and we'll get you the starters for the 2025. And this is just the position players. We won't know anything about pitchers. We could talk about pitchers after, if there's anybody that we think should be a starter for both sides. We've fooled around long enough. Let's give them the starters. What do you say?
Sounds good.
All right. Well, why don't we do it the same way? Why don't you go through? We'll start off with the National League, and you can give us the voted on by we the fans. Who are the starters?
The starters for the National League: Will Smith at catcher of the Los Angeles Dodgers. He's having a great season. It's like his third straight All-Star game.
First starting, right?
First starting, yeah. Freddie Freeman, first base of the Dodgers. This is 7 in a row for Mr. Freeman. At second base, Ketel Marte of the Arizona Diamondbacks. This is his third All-Star nod. At shortstop, Francisco Lindor of the New York Mets, his first starter selection. Third base, Manny Machado of the Padres, 7-time All-Star. Of course, at DH, we have Shohei Ohtani of the Dodgers, 5th starter selection. And then in the outfield, Ronald Acuna Jr. of the Braves, his 5th starter selection. Pete Crow Armstrong, or as I like to call him, Pico Armstrong.
Pico.
From the Chicago Cubs, his first selection, or first starter selection, and his teammate, Kyle Tucker, also of the Cubs, his first starter selection.
Isn't this his first All-Star game? He wasn't there last year, was he? Not only starter, Pico.
Yeah.
Pico. I think this is the first time Kyle's ever started.
Yeah, I think so. Lots of first in there. So, and if you look at it, you've got the infield is all a National League West except for Lindor, who's in the East. And then in the outfield, you've got 2 Central guys and 1 East.
And oddly, when you think like a couple of years ago, wasn't the whole infield the Braves? All voted starters?
Yes.
And this year, obviously, they've had a bad year so far. But Ronald Acuna Jr. coming back off of, actually, it seems like he's been out for like 3 years.
Yeah.
But a couple of years of surgeries and issues and missed years come back. He's been playing really well and gets to wow the home crowd.
Yeah. And so he's on the team as a starter and will be, as we mentioned, in the home run derby. So good for Atlanta.
Something cool with the that I just noticed, and we'll talk about it in a little bit. The outfields kind of match up a little bit with the American League. At DH, with his first All-Star pick here, Ryan O'Hearn from the Orioles, who, not that he doesn't deserve it, but he definitely benefited from Rafael Devers being sent to the National League. Vladdy Guerrero Jr. gets the first base nod. Gleyber Torres gives, I think it's first time as an All-Star since 2019. He'll be starting at second base. The rookie from the Athletics, Jacob Wilson, gets the nod at shortstop. Jose Ramirez, who else could be their third baseman, and maybe even, I doubt it, but top 3 candidate for MVP this year, because nobody's going to beat Judge unless he just falls off the rest of the season. With his one of 3 first-time All-Stars in the starters, the big dumper, Cal Raleigh, and starting a catcher. And, of course, the outfield, Aaron Judge. No surprise there. We knew he was going to be there. But the other 2 could be beating out both Stephen Kwan and Mike Trout. It's Riley Green. Definitely not a surprise there. But Javi Baez. Not a surprise that he made it onto the All-Star team or even as a starter. It's a surprise that he's having such a good year and that he's turned things around like he has.
Yeah, and this is his 3rd selection at his 3rd position. Because before he had been second base, shortstop, and now in the outfield.
And he's played some shortstop and third base for the Tigers this year, but one of 3 Tigers to be a starter. And like Gleyber Torres, it's been since 2019 that he has been an All-Star.
And just real quick, for Jacob Williams, he's the first A's All-Star, or Wilson. Who did I say?
Williams. Seafern was with Charlie Moore.
I think so. Jacob Wilson, and I do have that here. He's the first A's All-Star shortstop to start a All-Star game since Bert Campaneris started 3 times from 1973 to 1975.
The heyday of the Athletics there in Oakland. I mean, that was a tough team, a great team, but a tough team. And so many of those guys went on to be Hall of Famers. Very cool there. And then I need to fix something because we were talking about the younger Holiday kid being at the Angels Nationals game, and I said his brother is an all-star, potential all-star starter, and I said he was with the Padres. No, he's not. He's with the Orioles. Jackson Holiday. I think Jackson Merrill, Jackson.
Yeah, it's very easy to do Charlie Moore, Jacob Williams, just putting names together.
Yes, indeed.
I was disappointed that all of our efforts to get Andy Pages voted in to the All-Star game as a starter didn't work out, but I'm hoping he will be a reserve. He is very much deserving of it. And I think, too, maybe just, when it comes to the All-Star voting, people vote they don't always vote based on stats, and they vote on name recognition. And Andy Pages right now, name recognition in Los Angeles, and I think getting around the league don't run on him, but maybe next year we'll see if he can continue the way he's going. But I hope he'll be on the team. I mean, he's got an in with the manager.
He and Juan Soto got about the same percentage of votes, 13% of the overall. And that tells you, I think right there, I would say I got as many votes, or I got about as many votes percentage-wise as the highest paid player in baseball. Mm-hmm. And honestly, that's where I was fine with Kyle Tucker over Juan Soto.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Juan Soto is, at the plate, it's fine. Defensively, as an outfielder, Andy Pages will run circles around him.
And then with the other thing that I said matched up here was odd.
Yes.
In the American League, the outfield consists of almost the same setup as the National League. 2 outfielders are from the Central, one from the East, and both of the Central outfielders are from the same team in both leagues. Now, it would have been interesting had it been the Eastern player had it been, say, Juan Soto, because then you'd had both other outfielders from New York. But in this case, and Juan Soto didn't deserve that. I'm sure he'll end up on there as a reserve. Probably.
Well, yeah, I mean,
but I don't know if he deserves that either.
No, I don't think he does, but,
Well, I mean, what
but he'll probably be there just because, again, it's the All-Star game, who do fans want to see, and he's a big name.
Right, but do they want to see him?
If
they wanted to see him, they would have voted him in.
Well, you would think maybe the Yankees fans were able to, I don't know, they voted against him and continued.
I guess.
The bleacher bums out there. I really don't know.
Could be. You never know. You're right. All right, so the reserves will be announced on Sunday. Sunday, it looks like Sunday is a big baseball day on ESPN because they got a doubleheader of games, which normally just have the one Sunday night baseball game. But they're also going to be announcing the reserves, which I'm sure some of that's going to leak out a little bit, but we'll see coming up. And then we're also waiting to see what to expect when it comes to the home run derby. Who will end up there. We know that so far only 2 are going to be involved, but that's, who else is going to be asked? I know that Riley Green has interest, so we'll see. He's definitely. Who was the kid you mentioned earlier who's got 21 home runs?
Yeah, that
Campanero
guy.
or
Campanero, yes.
Yeah, anyway, I'm wondering if he might be somebody they'll look at. Yeah, exactly. So we'll find that out soon too. So hopefully by next week, we will have the final rosters for the All-Star game, and we'll have a better idea of who's going to be competing in the Home Run Derby. I wanted to do one last thing before we wrap up shop today. It's a Dave Parker stat. Through his career, he was only one of 9 players to ever hit a home run off of multiple Hall of Fame pitchers in the same game. He hit it off of Dennis Eckersley and Lee Smith in 1985.
Very cool.
And that'll put a wrap on this week's Sibling Rivalry Baseball podcast. We're happy you stopped by. While we put the bullpen card away, remember you can find us on our website, siblingrivalrybb.com, and check the Fanatics links. You can get all of the All-Star Game gear, and now that we have starters, you'll be able to get your favorite player with their All-Star gear. We're also on Twitter at Sibling Rivalry BB without the A.
And on Facebook and Instagram at Sibling Rivalry BB with the A.
And I think we're going to be adding another thing to our another platform coming up. We'll tell you about that coming up next week, what that one way may be and how to find us there. Make sure you tune in, because right now we're beyond the halfway point, and everything that's going to happen in the next week or so here is, as we head into the All-Star break, we'll probably start seeing some ideas of what to expect come the trade deadline. So until next week, like I said, see some live baseball, get out, whether it's Little League or the closest professional team you can find, or just have a wiffle ball tournament over the 4th of July. And with the family and friends in the neighborhood. We hope you have a happy 4th. Let freedom ring. And don't forget to swing away.